Hello everyone and welcome to episode 204 of the Xbox Hall of Gamers podcast. This week I am joined by Cameron.
Hello!
And Keo.
Hello, boys.
Yeah, alright, calm down.
Why did that have to be so fucking creepy?
What do you mean?
Oh, sorry, it wasn't that creepy. I could go creepy.
It was only mildly upsetting, that's all it was. This week we're going to talk about, well, I guess Project Helix, some stuff about Sega, and Bloober Team. News is a little bit light this week after sort of all the big stuff with Phil and the Project Helix announcement last week and everything happening there. And apparently the, I don't know. I guess we're kind of waiting with bated breath to see what Xbox are up to. But,
they're cancelling, like, stuff that...
Yeah, the whole, like, this is an Xbox stuff has disappeared off their website, apparently, so that they're pulling away from that ad campaign, so I guess we'll see. How you guys been? How you been the last couple of weeks?
Well, it's been a few, I think, since I've been on, because I travelled over to Queensland, so I went and saw the parents, and, that was good. Very interesting to see some of the things that they're getting into, including 3D printing. So I ended up with their old 3D printer because it wasn't good enough. I've been doing some testing, some building some stuff, and a lot of failed creations. So, yeah.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, just tired, really.
No, fair enough.
So, yeah. As soon as I had I took a week holidays, and as soon as I came back, the other guy in the department took 2 weeks off, so I've been running solo for 2 weeks, so, yeah.
Yeah, what about you, Cameron? What have you been up to?
I've just been working. Working.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Oh.
I booked my honeymoon.
Oh, that's good.
So
That's good. I mean, I was at the wedding. That was a while ago, so...
Another 6 months.
Jeez. It's just a holiday at that point, isn't it?
I mean, it's going to have, like, the honeymoon, the wedding date. The year after.
Yeah, no, that sounds good.
The holiday's away from the wife, isn't it?
Their whole life together.
Oh, my God. Just, Keo with his casual misogyny. All right, well, as always, we do the show live on Twitch. Xbox Hall of Gamers is the place to find us. Come say hi, hang out in the chat, the usual business. We do have a community question this week from Red Ninja Dan, a question asker extraordinaire, who says, if you guys could have anyone as a guest on the pod, who would you want to have on? I mean, the obvious answer is Phil Spencer, right? Like, I would love to have that man do an episode. I have no idea what we would do. It would just be super interesting. Otherwise, Barack Obama, I think, is the correct answer, just because it would be hilarious. And I just call the...
I'm trying to think what's going to be the most joke answer.
We could just call the episode "Thanks Obama." That'd be the last episode. Actually, I would end the podcast after that because there's nowhere to go from there.
You know who John Kiriakou is?
No, I do not.
The guy that blew the whistle on the torture program for the US.
Jesus, yeah, okay, yes, I do know who you're talking about.
He's a great podcast guest.
Do you want to get fucking Edward Snowden on while you're at it? Jesus Christ.
I mean, if we want out-of-pocket podcast guests, let's get the best person that's been on a whole bunch of podcasts already, that's already great SEO, to come on ours.
I don't really want Elon Musk on my podcast, though. You know?
But Elon Musk smoking a joint.
Well, that's, maybe before COVID, maybe, but... I don't know, like... in terms of, like, gaming stuff, like, I don't know. My wonderful wife in the chat says the Unabomber. Unfortunately, Ted Kaczynski is dead, so I don't think that's possible, but...
But I reckon we could piece it together, right?
Well, he's, definitely an interesting individual. I'm
trying to think. There is a one right answer for this.
Is there?
I'm thinking Christopher Walken. I'm thinking Christopher Lloyd.
You're just thinking Christopher's.
Just go.
I'm just trying to think I'm trying to think of someone who would be like interesting in the video game sense. I don't know, because I feel, well, I mean, like Kojima would be like, actually Kojima is probably the right answer. That would
Kojima's the safe answer.
Yeah, that would be a really big one. Again, I have no idea
the
what
voice
we
of the voice of Duke Nukem, John St. John.
John St. John. Oh my god.
Joseph Fares.
Yes, actually, Joseph Fares would be great. Yeah, I'd love to have Joseph Fares.
Probably be the best podcaster because he'd just be dropping f-bombs every second word.
Yeah, and just say some out of pocket stuff that would be super super interesting. And I'd love to chat with Joseph Fares, especially around like from our lens, which he probably doesn't even think about. Be really interesting to get his opinion on like achievement hunting and like game making and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, that Joseph Fares is a great answer.
I think Joseph Fares is the best answer. I can't think of anybody better.
Yeah.
Because there's certain directors of studios that have been on podcasts in the past that have been controversial figures. But I think Joseph Fares he's not controversial, but like he's
opinionated and he's an interesting guy and he's very creative. Yeah. No, okay, yeah, fair enough. I think that's a good answer. Any other thoughts before we move on?
Not really. Who's that guy that everyone's loving at the moment from Expedition 33? It's the voice actor. What's his name?
Which one? Ben Starr?
Yeah, Ben Starr.
Ben Starr.
Ben Starr would be great to have on the podcast. We just talk Final Fantasy and shit. That man's great.
Yeah.
Brendan Lee Mulligan would be good.
Yes, yeah, that would be interesting. Well, he doesn't play video games though. He's
I mean, there's nerdy.
Sure, but he's very much like not played a video. He's like basically never played a video game in his life. Just so not his thing. Just super interesting.
Man, I'm just trying to think of anybody else. Where's the female representation?
I mean, Alana Pierce would be very interesting to have on. Like a lot of other interesting podcasters that I follow would be really cool to have them on.
Yeah,
Alana Pierce is in Australia too, so that helps.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. All right.
Yeah, can't think of anybody else.
Well, let's get into the news. I mean, there's, like I said, not a huge amount actually happening, but there's been a couple of things VGC's covered, so I've grabbed just some there. There's been some reports. We heard about Project Helix last week, which is the sort of code name for the next Xbox. They've confirmed it was going to be a PC Xbox hybrid. There's been talk around like, what does that mean? There's been talk about pricing, which we'll talk about here, and then apparently they're looking to apparently target the like top spec, going to be more powerful than the PS6, all that kind of stuff. But there's been some reporting around like how much it might cost, and people are speculating anywhere between $1,000 and $1,200 US, which is a shitload of money.
That's where that PC component.
Yeah, exactly right. Like PC components, obviously. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yes, well, they've tested the water with the ROG, so they could do it. People kind of buy, but just not in mass droves, though, right? So
yeah, and I think it's probably important to say that like this is coming from a tech journalist. Moore's Law is dead, which if you know what Moore's Law is quite funny. Basically going, well, look, this is what, if we think about all the components that we know are going into this thing, he's basically added that up. So again, it's not like, oh, they've leaked the price and this is what Xbox are talking about internally, but realistically, if they're going to be selling this device and they're billing something and they're not subsidizing the console itself, this is probably what it's going to cost. And so basically AMD has said like for their chip, it's going to be $550 on its own. Given where prices are, it might be closer to $650, and then the graphics card itself, plus RAM, another $200. Like, yeah, you could easily be hitting $1,000 pretty quickly.
Yeah.
If they sell it at cost, they could maybe do it for $900. But obviously, it's not going to be. They don't think it's going to be like $2,000, like some crazy, like big top of the market machine. But yeah, I mean, What do you think? Like
Does
in
it
terms
come
of
with
like, and I'll do the conversion actually because I'm just curious about like what that's going to be if I were to buy it today on the high end. So that'd be about $2,000, $2,000 New Zealand, roughly the same for Australia, maybe 1.9.
I've always been in the mindset that a game console should be pretty accessible and cheap.
So it'd be 1700 for the Australian.
At that point, I'll just buy a PC.
Right. Yeah, which I think is.
I mean, it becomes the point of unless this can do the same functions as a PC, why wouldn't I just buy a PC then and buy an Xbox controller?
Yeah.
Are we gravitating into the point where like young people are more accustomed to PCs than consoles, though? Anyway, like really? Except for Switches, right? You migrate from Switch to PC to do Overwatch or whatever, but
I mean, to me, back in the day, it used to be a case of you just got the console because it was accessibility, right? It was just picking up something, knowing you can put a disc or a cartridge or whatever in, and it'll just work.
Yeah, accessibility, ease of use, and also exclusivity. You know, there was a lot of stuff that just didn't come to PC back then.
I do think we've gone to a point though where the social, like, it would be interesting to know what the percentage of, like, I guess the younger generation that are completely comfortable with building their own PC and all that. Like, has those skills developed over time? Or you get what I'm saying though? Like, at what point do you go, it's more affordable to, or it's a better option to buy a PC?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I don't know. There's a little bit of an interesting curve happening at the moment in terms of understanding technology, right? And I think we're seeing this with boomers having no idea how to use a computer, millennials, and so like, you know, Zennials, that sort of like, you know, Gen X, millennials, people who grew up with computers when they were not super easy, fancy to use plug and play things, and like we had to do a bit of work to make them run. We have a relatively good understanding of like how OSs work and that kind of stuff, and again, like how to build a PC, for example. And then you have the kind of maybe like Gen Z, Gen Alpha piece where it's like, well, most of them are used to getting an app or getting a phone or getting, you know, like an Apple product that basically you just like, it is basically for all intents and purposes a console, right? It's a pre-built machine that you never do anything with, and when it breaks, you throw it out. And like, yeah, maybe you can put some more RAM in it if you really want to, but you're probably not going to do that. Whereas like a modular PC that most people build, like obviously there'll always be hardcore people who are super into that kind of stuff and they find a good deal and they work all that out. But I think I'd be very curious to see what the demographic is for people buying PC parts and putting them together in terms of age, and if that's because again, like there's more PC gamers than there ever have been for sure. But how many of those people are actually building those PCs themselves? I mean, like this PC I've got here, you know, I spent about $3,000 on that. So it would make it, you know, more expensive than the console would have been. But I also did that for the podcast as well, so we could do all this sort of stuff. But, you know, that was the first time I ever built a computer on my own. I had like, I think my first PC was a pre-build, and then the other ones were like, I just paid them the money to build it, but I picked the parts out. And I think that's probably the happy medium, where it's like people are just going to go, yeah, I don't know if I really want to build a PC myself, but I kind of want just a custom build, get someone to build it for me, and I'll pay the extra $200 or whatever for the labor and for their time. And that'll come out cheaper than a new Xbox and probably cheaper than a new PlayStation as well. Considering, I mean, like PlayStation 6, apparently the rumor is the PlayStation 6 is kind of going to be a bit more in line with the PS4 in terms of like the level of jump. So like they're not planning to try and, because of the availability of hardware, but we'll see how that goes because again, that might not be coming out for another 3 years.
Yeah, I think it'd have to be like truly modular to actually, like, you know, we've got a couple of things so far that have come up. We've got they're replacing the NVMe's in PlayStations, and PlayStation also has, you can go from a digital console to a disc console by slapping the disc drive on the side, right?
Yeah.
So there's a couple of things there already, right? But we'd need a little bit more of that, and you'd have to be able to swap out parts, make a choice, all that kind of stuff, and be able to just slap it together
and
for it to
also just fucking work, right? That's the problem.
Yeah.
Is that how do you have both
Yeah.
of those things where it's like, and what's the selling point? What if Xbox is like, oh well, you buy it because it has an Xbox logo on it, and you pay us, an extra $700 over what you'd pay for a regular PC build. Like I'm not keen on that proposition. I got to be honest, especially if the console now no longer has exclusives and everything is coming to PC or cross platform. Because I think that's the other thing, right? Like we've been talking a lot about backwards compatibility and the idea that like, can you make sure you can play all of your Xbox games on this new device? And they've talked a bit about how they've got a plan for backwards compatibility coming up, and they haven't really elaborated on that, but something's going to happen.
Yeah.
But going forward, I don't think they're going to have any console exclusives or things that only run on this new console. It'll be this console and PC because the thing's a PC hybrid, right? Like the SKU will be, everything will be play everywhere. So in which case it'll be like, well, what's the point of having the console part if the console part is just backwards compatibility emulation and that's all it is? I don't know. Like the proposition is getting stranger and stranger as we dig into this, and I'm trying to figure out what the point of this device is even going to be.
I mean, it's one of those things too. It was like we're too early.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, we're definitely too early to have any sort of definitive idea as to what this device is and how they're going to market it. I think are two very interesting things. But at that price point, I'm definitely not a day one person. That's too rich for me for sure. Unless the value proposition is really, really good, because the other thing is that this console generation is the first time things haven't gotten cheaper. Like it's still basically the same price, if not more, to buy a Series X now than it was at launch. And so if the shortage of parts keeps going the same way, then maybe it is worth buying for the first model. Who knows? But I don't know.
Here's what you do: you enter a Hall of Fame contest.
Yep.
You get a whole bunch of achievements, or gamer score, or Game Pass games played. You win the competition, you get a free console.
Yeah. I'll
but you have to. Yeah.
We'll try.
You have to offset that by started a game with 10 gamer score, not in Game Pass anymore. Have to buy the game now.
Yep.
What do you mean I have to do NBA 2K17?
Where's the value in that? You spend more on the games.
Yeah, what a nightmare. Yeah. But I guess that's the thing is like at this price point, are you guys out? Are you like this is just beyond what you're interested in right now, or?
I think the other thing too is my life has changed since the last console generation too. Like sure. I'm not gaming in that as much. I'm watching a bit more TV, focusing on family. I mean, I'll probably still get one, but it's gotta be affordable.
Yeah.
It's gotta be a worthy justification. It's gotta be a rainy day where Professor Pluto says, "Hey, I feel like buying a ROG Ally. Talk me out of it."
Jesus Christ, we'll get it. We'll talk about that because that's crazy.
Yes, and I can't say anything because I bought a ROG Ally X. So, yeah. So best damn idea I've ever had. I think that one. So I use it every day. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think for me, like at this point with what we know, and if that's the price, I'm out. I can't justify it. I think it's too expensive, and I don't think I mean, we'll see how they market it, what the killer app is, and if they've got like a good value proposition there, then and a good and like other reasons outside of the monetary value to buy it, we'll consider it. But I think at this point, it's a non-starter for me, unfortunately.
You're telling me I can only play Banjo-Kazooie Remake on the Project Helix?
Right, that's the thing. Where it's like, if it's like, oh yeah, actually the new Halo, surprise, it's only on the new Helix. Or there's some again, I don't even know how they do that, so it's like whatever, we'll see. But I think that
they shot themselves in the foot with the exclusivity angle.
Exactly, yeah. And so now it's like, well, why would you buy a new Xbox?
Yeah. Because my phone's an Xbox.
Well, yeah, not anymore apparently.
My phone is an Xbox.
Pluto refuses to accept that his tablet is an Xbox, and he wants to buy a $2,000 machine for it. Speaking of Xbox and backwards compatibility and the new generation, apparently there's going to be some iconic games from the past for the 25th anniversary. So Xbox's VP Jason Ronald has been talking about. Apparently, there's going to be some big update to the backwards compatibility program. We're not sure what form this is going to take. I think it's unlikely that there's going to be like, oh, new games added to backwards compatibility. I think it'll be they might be doing some re-releases of original Xbox games, maybe with achievements or something, or I don't know, maybe they got some sort of AI upscaling thing. We talked, months and months and months ago about AI being used to remaster or sort of, re-enable older games that no one's interested in to kind of make them available on current hardware. Maybe that's what's happening. Maybe they're using it as a test bed. I don't know. Any sort of thoughts?
Future proofing Xbox One generation.
Yeah, but that's definitely going to be part of it, right? Like, obviously, they're making sure to bring that forward as well.
Yeah, I know exactly what it's going to be. You go onto Xbox.com, you can see up to 7 years worth of your Xbox history. If you've been on the Xbox since 2007 and you've been downloading games, you can't see your history, right? Mm-hmm. So everything's gone. You can only see like 7 years. So, like, all of that previous stuff, I want my old purchases back. I want those. I want to be able to see the Simpsons arcade game.
I mean, you can see them all if you have a 360. I went through and dug it up with some old games, but I know what you mean, though. The purchase history, yeah.
Some of those are just gone, though. Like, you can't even download that game anymore, so...
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, are we excited? Are we interested? I mean, like, I don't know. Like, backwards compatibility is a big thing for me in terms of, like, being able to get through my huge fucking backlog of 300 games or whatever.
It would never happen. But I would really love it to be, like, backwards compatibility from other platforms.
Like what?
Like PS1, like, this is...
Dude, MechWarrior is on the Retro Arcade Collection thing that they made.
There is that too,
PS1
right? Yeah.
version.
Yeah, they are kind of doing that. Yeah, for those older games. Like the third-party ones in particular. Obviously, the first-party stuff will probably never come across, but...
Yeah.
But yeah, like they definitely have that retro classic stuff going on. They've been adding stuff to it all the time. And obviously, I'm not super interested in that from an achievement perspective, but I think it's cool that it exists.
I mean, we've had... what's the... Like the classics collections and that kind of stuff on Game Pass. Like, there's also that angle of it, of, like, bringing older games back just for, like, more Game Pass access as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Help extend the catalog a bit more.
Yeah. I don't think at this stage they'd have any extra 360 games to add the backwards compatibility program, right? Like, the reason they stopped doing it is because it was either too technically difficult or it was because they couldn't get the legal rights to do it.
Give the people what they want. They want 1 versus 100.
Can you imagine that's the thing they bring out? Holy shit, people would go nuts.
People would be so ecstatic.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anything that is worth bringing back though for backwards compatibility. Because the only thing that I can think of is like the delisted stuff like Spider-Man games.
Yeah, there's a lot of licensed stuff that never got brought. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I've got like 30 Xbox 360 games. It would be great if I could play them on my console. We could just get them off the 360.
I'm trying to think of what non-compatible Xbox 360 games there are.
A lot of it's licensed stuff. Like I got a Transformers game on there, Vigilante 8, Swarm. I could go through my list. I've got it's not a huge list, but it's an annoying list that I have.
I mean, like, even then, State of Decay has the arcade version on 360.
That's true, yeah. So there are, most of them either have been ported or have re-releases or whatever. We're getting to that stage now where you can remaster a 360 game, and it's not that weird. Doesn't feel like it's too soon. Yeah.
I'm looking through. I'm not seeing anything that's...
I mean, and we did have that as I brought up before, that Lara Croft game that weirdly came over from the 360.
Guardian of Light. Yeah, right? That's right. I forgot about that.
So...
Yeah, okay, let's have a look. I'm going to have a look at games. I'm going to have a look at TA and just see released games. Not backwards compatible.
Yeah, I'm just not seeing anything that is really worth it. You mean the CSI games? There we go. That's what we need.
Yeah, just like the ones that have the most gamers, like, Grand Theft Auto, Minecraft, the original Skyrim's not backwards compatible. The Kinect stuff, obviously. There's a lot of I remember Capcom did a lot of stuff where they just was like, oh, well, we're just going to re-release the game and port it, so you have to buy it again for the Resident Evil franchises and Dead Rising as well. There's not a lot that's not backwards compatible, right? It's like some of the Forza stuff. LA Noire got a version. Dead Rising got a version.
Guitar Hero.
Sleeping Dogs got a version. Yeah. Guitar Hero. Yeah. Uno got a version. Red Faction got a remaster. Prototype got a version. Yeah, I'm like, all the big stuff here, they got a version on the other console. Bulletstorm not backwards compatible is kind of weird, but then they did do a full clip later on, so.
I mean, yeah, there's quite a few IP stuff that's just one platform, but I doubt it would make its way over.
Yeah, I don't feel like there's enough on here that would like had enough people who have played it or even know about it.
I mean, it's just AI upscaling to 8K, right? So...
Maybe, like that's the thing, is like it might be something like that.
It might just be making older games better to play.
Yeah, which, maybe not super.
Mappable controls, in everything.
Fucking Stranglehold, that'd be a good one to get across because I don't think I'm ever going to finish that.
Oh. I could. I think I've done the multiplayer. I just need to do the single player.
Me too. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5 achievements left, it looks like. Yeah. Anyway, curious to see what they do in that space. I'm hoping that it's something interesting at least, and something for us to talk about on the podcast. And go, oh, that's cool. That's maybe even if it's not for us, game preservation is always a good thing, right? And people being able to play games where they potentially couldn't is a great success.
Yeah.
Do you know who isn't having great success at the moment, apparently?
Sega.
Yeah, Sega. They've been talking about how their games have been doing really well on the Metacritic. They've been getting strong reviews, but they're just not translating into big enough sales for them, apparently. We talked a few weeks ago about how some of their stuff just isn't performing, especially on the mobile space. But this article here, it's in the last 18 months, Sega and Atlas have released a roster of critical hits, including Shinobi Art of Vengeance, which is a great game, 2 Point Museum, Metaphor, obviously is fantastic, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, and a bunch of others. But apparently, the high valuation of its recent titles haven't translated into improved sales. Obviously didn't talk about actual sales, but the publisher did talk about Cross Worlds kind of not meeting its sales expectation, which is probably a bit of a tough one considering it was going up against Mario Kart World and the new Garfield Kart game. So it's it's a crowded market out there.
I mean, they really tried their very best to make sure it had legs against Mario. Yeah,
and apparently it is, like I said, like it reviewed well. It's a good game. People seem to like it a lot. But I think that they're currently reviewing its publishing organization, which is divided by region, and maybe have a structure that's going to be more unified towards their global strategy. They're going to be moving strengthen data analysis, optimize digital prices and sales by each market. And I think that's the other thing too, is I feel like, when was the last time you bought a Sega game?
Frontiers? Maybe?
Yeah, right. That was a few years ago now, right?
Yeah, I was going to buy Crossworlds, but I ended up buying a Switch 2 instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the last one I bought was actually the Team Racing, honestly. So,
yeah,
actually, no, I have Frontiers now, but I haven't played it. So.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if it's just like, I mean, maybe it's the market, maybe it's that we're just, being a bit more price conscious, and a lot of these sort of Sega games, people have been like, oh yeah, that looks good, but like I'm not like, I don't know. I mean, I'd be very curious to see how the Like a Dragon franchise went, like in terms of Like a Dragon in Hawaii, like if that sold well as a sort of side story thing, or because apparently Infinite Wealth did pretty well a couple of years ago, but yeah, I don't know.
Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza was last year.
Yeah, last year. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
And then Infinite Wealth was 2020, I think it was.
Infinite Wealth was 2024.
Was it 2024? Jesus. Time's slipping by. I'm getting old.
Oh, God, I forgot that was the thing. The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Dog, yeah. Jesus.
Sonic Superstars.
Okay.
He's back in 2023. I got Sonic Superstars. I got Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name. And then there's the 2 Point games in there as well.
Yeah, I'm like, I did Sonic and Shadows Generation. I bought that on sale. Metaphor was probably the last one that I bought full price day and date and was like, yeah, I need to play this like today, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing too is that there's a lot of access to Sega titles through Game Pass.
Yeah, exactly, right. I think that like they've been really good about bringing those to Game Pass. But even then, it's like I don't know, like the Yakuza series in particular. But I'm just looking at like Demon Slayer and Sonic stuff hasn't really come to Game Pass. I don't know. It's been kind of a mix. I don't feel like Sega directly have been. Oh, then again, they brought Shinobi, and that was. Oh no, they didn't bring Shinobi, did they?
I mean,
no. Yeah.
Okay, so going through the Yakuza stuff's at Game Pass. Warhammer 40k, Space Marine. That one was published by them. That's Game Pass.
Yeah, the remaster. Yeah.
2 Point Museum Game Pass. 2 Point Hospital Game Pass.
In Isolation at one point.
At one point, yeah. Yeah, Persona. Like all the Atlas stuff is definitely coming across, it seems like.
Yeah.
But maybe not the Sonic team, I guess.
Yeah, not Sonic Team. What else was there? Yeah, all the RGG stuff.
Yeah, IGG tends to be coming across, which I think makes a lot of sense because people like those games. Yeah. And then Football Manager.
When was that cancelled game that they had?
Soul Hackers, yeah.
That was a few years ago now, wasn't it?
Which one?
They had a cancelled game that they all.
Oh yeah, Hyenas.
That's it. Yeah.
That was their big live service thing that they cancelled right before it came out. Yeah, and I'm sure they're still probably feeling a little bit of that because they don't really have anything in that space at this point. So I guess again I like some of the studios that Sega owns. Like I like IGG and I like Atlas obviously quite a lot. Sonic Team is kind of hit or miss. But they're definitely not like banning 1,000 like some of the other companies like Capcom and that kind of stuff. So I feel I can understand why they're trying to play catch up a little bit.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of any more stick out. No.
Another story we have here though is Bloober Team, who are the once absolutely fucking hated but now kind of loved, even if it is begrudgingly, a team behind a bunch of your favorite horror titles, have revealed that they're apparently expanding and doing a bunch of new projects that they're going to talk about this year. They've got one called Project H, apparently. Sorry, what was that?
Funny how much they've grown over the years.
It really has, yeah, because they started with Layers of Fear, which everyone was like, this is super cool, and they almost like started that genre of like walking sim but spooky. Not quite. I mean, Amnesia kind of did that first, but they were definitely one of the big ones. I remember them getting a lot of buzz when they first came out. Layers of Fear 2 not being very good.
Medium? The Medium was
the Medium, yeah. The Medium, that was their console one for Xbox One, and that sort of split thing that they were doing, and kind of got middling reviews, and was supposed to be like the big console exclusive for Xbox One when it came out, and didn't really do much, and people were like, maybe Bloober Team don't really have it. They did Observer as well, which I quite liked, but yeah. And then they were like, oh, you know what? We're going to do a new Silent Hill game. We're going to do Silent Hill 2. And everyone was like, oh, please, no, not Bloober Team. And then they fucking knocked it out of the park. And now they're getting to work on a Silent Hill 1 remake. And now apparently, they did Chronos the New Dawn, which a lot of people really, really liked. They've got one called Project H. Like, they've expanded into so much stuff going on.
So since 2016, Layers of Fear, Observer, Layers of Fear 2, Blair Witch, The Medium, Layers of Fear. Don't forget the shitty 2023 remake.
Yes.
Silent Hill 2, Chronos the New Dawn, which we still need to play.
Yeah.
Project M, Silent Hill, and Layers of Fear 3 to be established.
Yeah. So there's they've got a lot going on. I'm very, very curious to see what the size of those projects are, because I didn't think they were a huge team, but yeah.
And they're done publishing since last year, where they did Star Trek Infection, I Hate This Place, and they're going to do Project M and Project F.
Yeah, there's got this Project H thing going on as well. So, yeah, really curious to see what they've got going. The thing I'm most excited for is the remake of Silent Hill 1, because I think that game is while not as like beloved as Silent Hill 2 is its own amazing, interesting thing, I think that Silent Hill 1 has the opportunity to, like, using the stuff they learned from the second game to really bring that game forward, considering it's a PlayStation 1 game that has aged pretty roughly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really curious to see how that goes. But also, apparently Project M is like a Nintendo exclusive project. That's like a horror thing. So,
Really?
yeah.
Yeah, Nintendo's is a bit weird.
Interesting, yeah. Like, I'm glad they're doing like weird, interesting shit that's not just like, oh, we're gonna do another. We're doing like another. Like, they are doing another Layers of Fear, but it isn't just like every game is that. Because I think with Blair Witch they kind of fell into that a little bit, where everyone was like, this is kind of not great.
Yes, Kirby was thinking exactly what I was thinking. Scary Metroid walking sim. That is 100%.
Yeah,
would do that.
You know what? Like a proper scary Metroid.
That
game,
is like my dream. I think.
I'm super down for that. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Space pirates that are actually scary. Yeah, I'd be down for that. All right. And then we do have a little bit of sad news here. Nagoshi Studio is apparently facing closure because NetEase is pulling the funding. So if you may not remember this from the Game Awards, but they were showing off Gang of Dragon, which was again Nagoshi Studio is basically the studio from the guy who originally did Yakuza, and they're sort of looking to continue that franchise, like a spiritual successor of that franchise. And so Toshihiro Nagoshi is basically like, well, we might not be able to make this game. There are some rumors that apparently he blew a shitload of the budget already on the game, even though they only like announced it 3 months ago. And that NetEase are really not happy with how things are going, and so there's some like tension going on there. Again, we don't know anything yet, but there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff potentially brewing there. But it does look pretty rough that like that's their debut title. This is the first thing they're going to be working on. People on the as much as people have really enjoyed the new Like a Dragon games with 7 and 8 and that sort of stuff, and the sort of direction they've gone in with the turn-based RPG stuff. I know some people were like, well, I like the Yakuza beating people up on the street more sort of style of game. So it's good that they're, it was great that they were having something in that space that was going to be very, very similar, even if it isn't from, the original studio. But yeah, apparently the rumor is that the project still needed another $44 million to complete, to complete production, which is crazy. That's a lot. I mean, again, like game development is expensive, but this is like his first title, and yeah, I don't know. Were we excited for this? I mean, we saw the trailer for this. I don't know if you guys remember it. He was the guy in the bar, and it was very much like Yakuza style thing where he gets stabbed with a knife and beats the shit out of them and then walks out onto the street.
It looks cool, but I'm not going to count my chickens before the hatch.
Yeah, that's fair.
Unfortunately.
I mean, apparently NetEase is looking to pull back on all their international game stuff at the moment. So we might see more stories like this, unfortunately. I don't know. It feels like game development is only getting harder and harder to find funding for these days.
Yeah, he's going to make indies. He'll make all the indies.
Yeah. And so, like, that's the thing, right? Like, even, and we're seeing this a lot with, like, you hear the story of, like, X, whatever dev from this, from this popular franchise game goes off to make their own indie game, and it flops completely, and they have to shut it down, or doesn't get enough funding, or, doesn't sell very well. It just, like, even being a big name and having a lot of creative juices and, like, being someone who's like done this stuff before doesn't necessarily guarantee success anymore. I think it's such a volatile market.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't really have much more to say about that, really. Like, yeah.
All right. Well, that's pretty much it in terms of news. Like I said, it's a pretty quiet week. But Cameron, do you want to go through the Game Pass stuff?
So in terms of Game Pass, we have Construction Simulator, Cyberpunk 2077, Hollow Knight Silksong, all hitting the service now. March 17th, we have DreamWorks Gabby's Dollhouse ready to party. Hell yeah.
Great.
Yeah, very good. Leaving, we've got Bratz, Riven Style, Enter the Gungeon, F123, He is Coming, Lightyear Frontier, and Mythric Ambrosia Island. If you're listening to this tonight, I don't know if you got time to
Mythric maybe, or Bratz, one of the two. I don't know if you get through both.
Yeah. I definitely recommend playing He is Coming, but yeah, you're not going to be able to complete in time.
Yeah, no way.
No.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what the next batch of games will be. I'm assuming it'll include another Final Fantasy Pixel remaster because they seem to be doing that now. But yeah, this last batch was a little bit. I mean, like Cyberpunk is a good get, but I think that
it's been out what 6 years.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of relatively old game at this point, and so it's a question of like, okay, there wasn't really a lot interesting in this batch, so I'm hoping we get a slightly better batch for Wave 2. Yeah. We also have yes.
I was going to say, we didn't mention it too, but Xbox Play Anywhere from the Future Game Showcase was also this week.
Oh, yes, right, yeah.
Silver Pines, Rever's Tale, Outbound. Outbound looks cool. Calyx, Life is Strange Reunion, Ghost of the Grand being Day 1 Game Pass, Aphelion, and then I think the last one's Will. Will Follow the Light. Just some great indie titles in FGS.
We've also got a Patreon, patreon.com/HallOfGamers if you want to help support the show. A huge shout out to Old Mate Clown, Cavalier07, Hack and Pone, Kung Fu Skills, Happy Moogles, Admiral Awesome, Natolinator, Lee Howard, Left Legacy, and Venoms AU. We literally couldn't afford to do the show without you guys, so thank you all so much. If you do want to help support the show, that is the place to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
All right.
Thank you.
Monthly theme. Keo, do you want to run through that?
Yes, so March and April, we're looking at Everybody Was Kung Fu Fighting. Play games where you can engage in unarmed combat. So, yeah, this has been interesting. This has sparked some good discussions. You know, tails. Do they count?
No, they don't.
Claws, do they count?
Nope.
No, they don't.
Nope. You got to be.
So,
you got to be fisting and kicking. Yep.
Yeah, and like I'm sure if you are playing Monk for the entirety of Final Fantasy, then
I always have a Monk on the party. They're so ridiculously overpowered.
Okay.
Always. Like I did that for Final Fantasy 1, which I'll talk about in a second.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, yeah. I mean, Monk's my main in Final Fantasy 14, right? So, yeah,
it's a good pick. Have we got any sort of games come to mind that you guys are thinking of doing?
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts doesn't count.
I punched through gummy enemy ships with my gummy ship.
No, literally the entire game you have a sword. The whole thing is a keyblade. It's a blade.
No, it's not a sword. It's a keyblade. There's a difference.
Yeah, it's not fisting. All right.
That is not a fist.
No, exactly.
No,
that is not count.
Unfortunately, at the moment, I'm still stuck a little bit doing the games that I'm doing. So I'm not really thinking about any fisticuffs. So, but I need to have a think about something to do. So, I need to add it to my rotation. So,
I'm probably gonna get some Wolfenstein done.
Yeah,
are you doing like a fists only run?
No,
can you do that?
You can use fists.
When can you use fists? I'm trying to remember. Enlighten me.
You can do assassination.
Yeah, but he's usually stabbing some. Well, no, I don't think that counts.
No, I don't think so. I mean, if you load Doom 3 and play just the chicken punching simulator.
Yeah, sure. I mean, Doom 3 counts. Yeah, you get like you can punch stuff. Yeah, you get Berserker power.
Killer Instinct.
Killer Instinct is a fantastic game. Yes, absolutely.
Good. There you go. He's actually found
fighting game. Relevant. Yeah, I'm still trying to finish up One Piece, which is a perfect game for this because the whole point is that he's a stretchy man who punches things. So that's the whole game.
Jump Force.
Yes, Jump Force would count too. Dragon Ball Z also a great get. And basically any shonen anime fucking game where you can punch the shit out of things, there's heaps of them.
That is a good point. Maybe I should add some fighting games to my rotation.
Hand of Fate.
No, use a sword and shield, so no.
Sifu.
Sifu, yes, absolutely. Good fucking
I
luck.
I got like 3 or 4 fighting games, so I
Yeah.
can do it.
Yeah, I need to get back to Dead or Alive 5, actually. I have one or two achievements left in that. All right, well, speaking of what we've been playing, let's get into it. I'm going to go first, because I don't have too much to talk about. Like I said, I'm still working on One Piece. I finished the base game. I did the first DLC. I've got 2 DLCs left to do. It's not a great game. It is a 5 out of 10 milquetoast, like very, very mediocre experience with very little depth, not much going on with it, really repetitive fighting and grinding and just like, yeah, not much to it. But it's part of the backlog, trying to get it done. I am still weighing up what my next game is going to be. I'm starting to whittle down to some tough categories now. I do want to play Peace Walker, so I probably will do. I've got that installed, so I probably will do that. But I know it's quite an investment, so we'll see how it goes. But what I have been playing is some Game Pass stuff. So based on some discussions we had last week around retro games and things like that, I decided to fire up the Pixel Collection that's on Game Pass, or the first couple of them for Final Fantasy. And so I ran through Final Fantasy 1 and 2 this week. And yeah, Final Fantasy 1's actually a surprisingly good game for that age. I mean, obviously I know they've cleaned it up with the Pixel Remaster and made it more playable and all that kind of stuff, but there's a surprising amount of stuff in that game that I was like, oh, they had the stuff in here from the first game. Like, it wasn't like, oh, this is a cool thing we should add in the Final Fantasy series. Like, no, we started with this. Like, we had airships from day one. You know, we had like an underwater level from like day one, like a submersible thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like, obviously the crystals was a thing, and I kind of knew about that. But they was like, oh yeah, we also have like class upgrades from day one, like the very first game. So I was really, really impressed. And then I played Final Fantasy 2, and it's not good. It's bad. And I know Jake is going to be sad because he loves that game. I think he's like one of the few people who do. But I think it's a very strange sequel. There's no traditional leveling system. It's all about leveling up your like weapons or your weapon abilities. But the experience system is so overly convoluted in terms of like, it makes sense to basically just like beat up your own party members and make them take damage for them to increase their stats. Like, it's just nonsensical. Like,
I forgot about that.
Yeah, where it's like the easiest way is like have everyone defend and you just hit them with your weakest attacks, so you get a number of attacks into like it has a very like Skyrim, Elder Scrolls, where it's like use the ability to level it up, which makes sense on the surface, but it also applies to all of your stats as well. So it's like if you want to increase your agility, you need to dodge attacks, which means you just need to keep trying to get hit with low accuracy attacks over and over again. It's nonsensical. If you want more health, you need to lose health. But yeah, so I'm kind of glad that I was done with that one. I wasn't really enjoying it very much. Like, and story-wise, it's kind of all over the place and just kind of weak. I'm curious to see where 3 goes. I've got it installed. I know that's where it started like expanding out, and you get like the job system and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see how that goes. I'm a little bit burnt, so I'm going to take some time. So I spent quite a bit of time on that. And then the thing that I've been really jumping into is Wu Chang Fallen Feathers.
Saw that.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember a few months ago where I was going through like a Metroidvania thing where I was just like really, really enjoying playing through Metroidvanias and just being like, man, I fucking love this. Like, I was playing like Blasphemous and Last Faith and all that kind of stuff, and was like, man, I really love these games, these types of games, and like they're challenging and interesting and fun, and like, and I was just like remembering how much I enjoyed video games. It's like that. Like, obviously, like Dark Souls is one of my favorite games of all time. So every time I get into a Souls, like, I'm just like, this is what I'm here for, you know. Like when we played through Lords of the Fallen, it's like, this is like so. I love this. I love the loop. I like the level of challenge. I like the customization. I like the kind of like the dark grittiness, the interesting stuff. And so this is like playing this is really a really comfortable game. I don't think it's amazing. I think it's a competent Souls-like. It's got, like it's kind of that mix between like it's got some like Sekiro parry stuff in there as well and other bits and pieces. So that there's like it's not quite that hardcore. The parry window is quite generous and there's quite a few different abilities and you can have a few different weapons, but it feels like maybe like it's halfway between the two of them. So it's like you don't have 50 different weapon types and a million different enemy types. It's like, okay, cool. There's like 5 main chapters and each of them is like a zone. and there's like 6 different weapon types, and there's maybe 3 or 4 weapons per type. There's a few different abilities. So like there's enough to mix and match and have like a build, but not so much of like something like Elden Ring where it's like you could run a completely different set of abilities and weapons and scaling for your stats than someone else has. Whereas like this is a lot more pared back. It's very sort of traditional sense. So I'm enjoying it a lot though. I'm towards the end of the 3rd out of 5 areas, so about halfway through the game. I've come up against one of the ridiculous like skill check bosses that everyone complains about that I've just bashing my head against at the moment. But when I'm not screaming at it, I am actually having a really good time. Yeah, it's just a nice, comfortable game. But I was worried it was going to be too overwhelming. But it's actually just kind of just the right level of challenge for me at this point. And it's made me go, man, I should maybe check out to see if there are any other sort of Souls-likes that I might have missed. There's things like Thamezia and what was the other one? Steel, was it Steel?
Yes. Not Steel Rain.
Steel Rain, maybe? Yeah, it might have been Steel Rain.
Maybe?
Was
it could have
Steel
been.
Brigade? Yeah.
Oh.
Steel Brigade? I don't know. Anyway, yes. So
Yeah.
I might check out a few others. I really enjoy this genre, even though I know people are like, oh, the Soul Slop or whatever, and just kind of it's like it's derivative. I'm like, yeah, but I enjoy it. Like, it's a genre.
Yeah.
But obviously those games take quite a bit of time and investment, so I really haven't had time to play much else. But I am keeping my eyes out, like I said, for my next unstarted backlog game. I might update the list and get people to help me pick something out, because that seemed to help last time. But that's it. That's all I've had time for the last sort of 5 days.
Cool.
Kia, what about you?
So it's been a little while. I took a few games away with me on the road. So downloaded a bunch of stuff for that. The main game I've been playing is Monster Hunter World. I'm still beating my head against the wall against a couple of monsters that take like 4 or 5 days worth of going through, checking if they're big or small, and then leaving, and it's just the same monsters, just taking a few days worth of effort to try to do right. But I'm down to like five monsters, and I actually only need 7 crowns. So this is 5 monsters with 2 crowns, like a large and a small for both. So for the Monster Hunter fans out there, I need Black Veil Valhazak, large and small, large Silver Rathalos, both Scarred Yayan Garuda, small Nergigante, which is from the base game. It's the last base game before I get the achievement for the remaining achievement for the base game. And then a large Linastra, which is like a lion flame, blue flame thing. So I'm super close. And there's only 1 or 2 that's actually a problem. And it's mostly because their size scale is so wildly different every time you go in that you just don't know what you're getting, and it's a pain. But I have started because I was playing with my friend in America, Clark. We've moved on to Monster Hunter Wilds.
Oh, okay, yeah. Right.
Yeah, really nice to kind of be able to go in and play. The way that it kind of worked with Worlds, all the DNA is still there, right? Where you go in, you have to see the cutscene on your own, and then as soon as you get to the fight, you can invite the other person in. So and then it's just whoever, and it's a little bit easier to get people in this time. So at least you're not waiting for something to happen or something else to happen before you can invite the other person. But unfortunately, the person that's being invited still has to accept the invite, and they don't like spawn next to the other person in the fight.
Just show up in the world but miles away.
They show up at the base camp 700 meters away from
I don't understand. Like they've been doing this series for so fucking long, and co-op is such a huge part of it. Like, and I know that Monster Hunter Wilds is one of those games where they sanded off a lot of the edges of the game and made it more playable and more accessible. Why not just go all the way and just have them spawn next to you? Like, come on, man. Exactly
right. At least for the first time, and if you die, then go back to the camp, whatever, right? But yeah, it is wild that's still happening. But either way, like, it's still good. I'm still doing dual blades again, and this other guy, he's just all in on the meta, following the statistics, we have a huge list of things that I should be doing that I'm not doing, stuff like that for the best way to do my dual blades. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah,
You're
whatever,
like,
let's
nah, I'm
just
just
keep
gonna have a
going.
good time and just enjoy the game. Imagine that.
Exactly. So I'm just playing with my bros. But yeah, but no, that's all good. It is really, really good though. You know, it's really nice to play that kind of game with someone else instead of I've just ended up solo in worlds. So trying to fight these last few monsters. I was doing a bit more blueprints. I kind of got the goal that I wanted was basically the achievement where there's four. So the end game is basically room 46, right? You're supposed to go and unlock room 46, but there was one particular achievement where you had to take the whole grid, and if you think the way the grid works is that there's like I don't know how it is. It's like 10 lines forward for rooms,
Yep.
and then it expands out like five. So you've got one room straight up, a set of rooms straight up the middle that you can go down, and then you can have two on the left and two on the right from where you're beginning, and then it just kind of goes towards. You have to fill every single one of those spaces, so 45 spaces with rooms, which is harder than it sounds because you can only have certain rooms in certain places,
Yeah.
and your RNG will allow for certain things like when you're in the middle of the whole infrastructure, you can get rooms that have four doors. You can have rooms with like one door, like a right angle or a left angle. And if you don't have the tools to kind of change the direction of the room, you're stuck. If you get one where it's basically a dead end, you can't.
Yeah, you're done.
That's your run.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my whole thing was getting that achievement out of the way, and then like because I'd already managed to get through to room 46 and done that a couple of times, and that was the main thing I wanted to do. And now I'm kind of like, right now I'm just having fun. I can go really straightforward, or I can go a bit left, bit right, whatever, and whatever. But it's so now I'm doing a little bit more of the exploring and solving more puzzles again and stuff like that,
Okay.
instead of trying to nut out that one achievement. But yeah, of the few other things, really, it just comes down to what I took away with me. Game Meals, Hot Wheels, Monster Truck Stunt Mayhem.
Of course,
is...
yes. Can't get away
so
from
fun.
that.
Oh my god, it's basically trash. It's like yeah, I mean, it's the same lot to drive in 7, 8, 9, 10 times with a few of the obstacles in different spots, and it's just 2 minutes, 3 minutes here, and
Oh,
yeah. So you just go through a bunch of missions, and you have to do this one with this truck, and you know it. So yeah, so that's not fun. But it'll just be ticking the boxes as I kind of get through it. Yeah, but the surprising addition is that I ended up downloading to a T because I wasn't really planning on playing this one. But like I have a little when I went to Queensland, I have a little niece that just became like I me and my wife just became the center of attention whenever she was over, right? So, and one day I was playing the ROG when they came over, and she's like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "Well, let me show you." And then I just downloaded the game. She sat in my lap and just played the game, and it's now a gamer. So yeah, you can thank me
there
for
you
that
go.
later. My sister can just whatever. So yeah, so yeah, and it was just really nice to kind of sit there and talk through like what to do and how to do this and stuff like what do we do next? You wake up in the morning, oh, you brush your teeth, you do this, you do this. Just the way that the game plays out was really kind of nice as kind of like a walk through, and it was the same 2 or 3 days down the track. Oh, you don't want to wear shoes today, or whatever, and you could just go through those repetitive things really nicely. So that was actually really nice. So but yeah, that's basically where I'm at with my stuff. So
Might have another look at that game because I know
yeah,
it was kind of buggy at launch. I don't know if they've done anything with
yeah,
it,
you
but
should be able to sort it out pretty quickly. Yeah, I think so.
The song at the start is an absolute banger. I will hear no criticisms about the song at the start of that game.
Yeah. I agree. No, you're right. You're right. Mm.
Cameron, what about you?
I have played Void Train, which...
Oh, yes, I've heard of this. Yes, the game that you tricked me into fucking playing. I complained about this last week, but yes, we all have been playing Void Train, which is basically Raft. I've been tricked into playing Raft after all the fucking Raft memes, and now I look, jump into that game, look around, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm standing on a fucking moving platform here, where I got to do crafting and shit. Even Allison was making fun of me. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. You thought Choo Choo Charles was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Get a load of Void Train.
It's funny. I just heard this was a good game. It had co-op, and I was like, that's enough. The achievements are unlockable. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And you have a good time, Matthew.
Yeah.
If you played this game by yourself, it would be a lot more trouble.
Sorry, 1 second.
It would not be fun.
Technical issues on my end. 1 second.
You're right.
Yep. Matt takes crafting very serious.
Yeah.
So I've been playing Void Train. I've been enjoying that. Matt's probably talked about it to death last week. The only other game I've been playing is Kingdom Hearts 2.
Can't hear you, actually, Matt.
I said he's having tech issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been playing Kingdom Hearts 2. I'd already done the critical mode stuff. I've been playing on beginner difficulty, getting myself to the end of the game, and basically just cleaning up treasures, everything like that. About probably like 10 more hours of content in Kingdom Hearts 2, and then I can focus on Birth by Sleep and be done with the 1.5 and 2.5 remix.
Yeah.
It's taken a long time, though. There is a lot to do in 2.
Yeah. Yep, I 100% those games before they were cool. Or before they had Xbox achievements.
Yeah. So the only stuff I got left to do is I'm going through the 13 replica data at the moment. On beginner, it's a lot easier than the bullshit that was on Proud. I'll tell you that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Mushroom 13 stuff's not too bad. I've done the first lot of S ranks for the gummy ship stuff. And then, I've got most of the collectibles. I've just got to clean up some small bits.
Yeah, cool. I think the thing that really put me off Birth by Sleep was just like being like, okay, cool, I got to play through 3 different stories, and it resets me back to 0 every time, and I feel like I have to build myself back up and get new abilities and rebuild my stuff. And then that's an
interesting thing for me. Like, what is the best way to play? Is it taking one character each at a time and then?
Yeah. So, because technically they're sequential, right? So I think it's like you should probably play as Terra, then Ventus, then Aqua. Apparently, is the recommended order. Especially because at the end, like Aqua's stuff goes into the finale stuff. So it's like whatever level she's at. But I've also I started the games on critical, so I'm like playing through the hard difficulty first, and then. But there's the guides recommend doing 2 playthroughs with each character, so that's 6 playthroughs. And they're not super long, right? But it's just, it gets to a point where you're just like, fuck, I'm going to be here forever and just playing the same stuff over and over again and just not really digging it. But also, I think that my problem with Birth by Sleep was the level of customizability in terms of the way the abilities work, and you have to equip them and then level them up and then meld them and stuff. It didn't really gel with me. I prefer having a set. I don't really like the customizability aspect of it, which I know some people really do, but I'll be curious to get your thoughts when you get to it.
Yeah. I mean, 2 is just I'm at that point too where the combat is enjoyable because of the end game stuff and it's beginner. But man, there's so many fucking collectibles.
There is that too.
I just do not have time anymore to just be spending on it, but I'll get there.
Is that everything?
Yep, that's
Easy.
all I've been.
All right. Well, let's get on to the word challenge. Kirby is in the chat, which is everyone's favorite competition where Kirby suggests some ridiculous fucking game, releases clues that no one knows what they're talking about, and you need the Rosetta Stone to try and understand. And then if you win some sort of prize. The way you do it is you go on our Discord and you get 1 guess per hour. And you go on our Discord channel, word challenge, and you can guess it. And if you get it right, a gift pops up. And
Is
so
the answer Hannah Montana?
Sorry, what was that?
Is the answer Hannah Montana?
It's not Hannah Montana this time. But we're giving one clue away each week. The first clue was B movie. The second clue was Kirby less than one, which I think is what it means. It's the less than symbol in one. So Kirby less than one.
We're saying Kirby is not equivalent to a full person.
I think I actually do know what this clue means, but I don't want to say it.
Okay.
But I think that there is.
Yeah.
I believe it refers to Kirby as the person as opposed to Kirby the character,
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo character. But the new clue 3, is the big bad turtle. So get in your guesses. Very curious to see if anyone even gets close. I was very much enjoying the sort of thought process people were going through. Stubby was in there a lot. Kirby has asked me to say the game he's picked is not fucked up, but the clues are. So it is a regular game that you might have heard of. In fact, I think it's a game I've played. So
Continuously cementing the idea that Kirby is once again the problem.
Yes, exactly.
Oh yeah, cool. But that's the point.
Exactly. Especially now that there's money on the line, he can't make it easy. Leaderboards. Cameron, do you want to read through that?
In leaderboards, in the third spot, we have Oz Buffanatic at 4,575. Second, we have Martel with 6,180. And then for first, we have Fresh Forever at 10,115. Very small numbers, guys. What the hell?
Yeah.
Keo,
compared to their other weeks, I should say.
Yeah, I was going to say they have to take a week off every now and then, right? Completions.
All right. Completion. So Just Jake did Emperor in ESO, and I'm kind of like the achievement. Kind of jealous. I actually want to start ESO now.
It's really funny actually because
he made it look easy.
Yeah, he made it look really easy. He was actually talking about it on the podcast last week around how he was planning on going for it later this month. And then as soon as we finished the fucking podcast the next day, he's like, oh, guess what? I fucking just got it. Because apparently they did a test run and just fucking managed to timing worked out. And he managed to get what is probably the most difficult achievement. Or at least infamously difficult achievement.
He was talking about it doing a test run for a bit. He's like, oh, yeah, we'll just do a test, get a feel for it, see how things are going. And then it's like,
fucking nailed it. So, yeah, congratulations.
That's
a huge achievement.
Yeah. So Spice did COD World War II. Firehawk / Shane did Lightyear Frontier, and Mythwrecked. See, you can get them done, but maybe not now. Stooby Doo did IndyCar. Bulbasaur did Titanfall. Shadowed Slided High Guard. Mad Lefty did Boyfriend Dungeon. Red Ninja Dan did Indica as well. Bottle of Sharks did High Guard. A lot of High Guards on there. Spice did Resident Evil Requiem, so that's a good little completion, new one. I didn't see that one actually. And Rapture did Bratz Rhythm and Style. So
yeah, that's what
great work, guys. At least we're getting some completions in there.
Yeah, I mean, High Guard's gone now. Closed up today. Yeah. So
I was seeing the server maintenance splash screen all over the internet today. So.
Yeah. But I'm glad to see some people got it done. So congratulations to all them. And Spice getting Resident Evil Requiem. I so want to play that. Like I'm.
Yeah.
I really But I probably will wait for a sale because Capcom are usually pretty good about putting things on sale. I think that's pretty much going to wrap up the show. It's been a pretty quiet week this week, but could always use use some chill. Anything we want to chill, guys?
Not at the moment. No, everything's pretty chill at the moment. So still recovering from various things. So not really. So.
All right. Well, as always, we do the show live on Twitch. Xbox Hall of Game is the place to find us. So come hang out like we did with Stubby and Chin Doctor and my wonderful wife. I think that's going to wrap up episode 204. We will catch you guys next week. See you later.
Peace.
Bye, everyone.